Hi students, welcome to my channel Physics Universal Classes. Our today topic, the new chapter is Newton's laws of motion. The simply say that laws of motion. Okay, in this previous session I will discuss the topic is motion in a straight line or kinematics. In this mechanics is broadly categorized into three types. Mechanics is broadly categorized into three types. The first one is kinematics. Second one, dynamics. Third one is statics. The mechanics is a branch of physics which deals with the study of motion of objects. So in our day-to-day life, that is the mechanics. The first to discuss already discussed in the previous session, previous video. Please watch the videos. The kinematics are motion in a straight line. That is a 1D body. Okay, 1D. Okay, 2D, 3D bodies are there. First, in this kinematics is a branch of physics which deals with the study of motion of objects in our day-to-day life. Okay, in this motion of objects in our day-to-day life, without consideration any external forces are acting on it. There are no forces acting on it. That is the simply say that kinematics briefly discuss about. Next to dynamics. The dynamics is a branch of physics which deals with the study of motion of objects in our day-to-day life. In this motion of objects in our day-to-day life, some external force, some external agent is acting. With consideration, some external agent is act on a body. That external agent is called force. That is the force. That is the discuss about dynamics. That is the Newton's laws of motion, NLM. Next, third category is statistics. Okay, statics is the branch of physics which deals with the study of the bodies are at rest position. The bodies are at rest position. This is the briefly discuss about kinematics, dynamics and the statics. Okay, next discuss about the topic is dynamics. The dynamics are Newton's laws of motion. Dynamics, Newton's laws of motion. Okay, in this chapter, okay, in the previous chapter, okay, discuss so many physical quantities like distance, displacement, velocity, acceleration. And so many quantities are discussed in this previous chapter. In this chapter, the previous chapter is the uniform motion. The bodies are moving in a uniform motion, one-dimensional motion. Some bodies are two-dimensional motion. Some bodies are three-dimensional motion. Okay. In this session, in this Newton's laws of motion, the non-uniform motion acting. Non-uniform motion acting. Okay, some external, the body is moving in this direct forward direction. That is applied. Some external agent is applied on a body. The body is moving on a straight line. At the same time, the acceleration also acting. The acceleration also acting. The external agent and the acceleration, these two are acting in same direction. Okay, this to discuss about in this concept. In this dynamics chapter, totally the force and types of forces discussed. And next to NLM, the Newton's laws of motion. The Newton gave three laws. Newton gave three laws. So depend upon the motion of the particle. Motion of the particle. Okay, in any way. Okay, freely fall case, the body is moving on a straight line also. Okay, the inclined plane, the body is moving from top of the inclined plane to to reach the bottom of the surface also. Okay, anywhere we discuss about the Newton's laws of motion. Okay, the simply say that Newton gave 3 laws. So what are the laws? First one is Newton's first law, that is law of inertia. Second one is Newton's second law, that is F is equal to ma equation. Third one, action reaction pair. Okay, in this one, the first to discuss about Newton's first law. Newton's first law or law of inertia. Law of inertia. So what is the Newton's first law of motion or law of inertia? So every body continues in its state of rest. Every body continues in its state of rest or the state of a uniform motion. The compelled force acting on it. Okay, that is the simply say that Newton's laws of motion or law of inertia. Every body continues in its state of rest. Every body continues in its state of rest. In its state of rest or the uniform motion in a straight line. Uniform motion in a straight line. Motion in a straight line unless compelled by external force to change that state. Unless compelled by external force to change that state. Okay, this is the simply say that Newton's first law. So every body in its state of rest or the uniform motion in a straight line unless compelled by some external agent, that is some external force acting on that body, the state is changes. Okay, for example, this is the car. A car is at rest position. Okay, so behind the car 3 or 4 members push the car. That is the pushing force is applied. The body is moving. So what type of force is acting? External force to change that state. And this body will be rest position. Okay, some external force is acting, that is a force applied. The force is applied on the body. The body continues is moving from the rest to motion. This is the first law. This is the Newton's first law or law of inertia. In this Newton's first law or law of inertia, or another definition is the vector sum of all forces acting any body is 0. The vector sum of all forces acting on any body is 0. That is sigma F1 plus F2 bar plus and F3 bar and so on, that is equal to 0. The vector sum of all forces acting on any body is 0. That is the Newton's first law or law of inertia. Is that Newton's first law or law of inertia. In this one, a state to at rest position or the uniform motion. Uniform motion. This is simply say that the Newton's first law or law of inertia. Okay, next discuss about that property, that is the inertia discuss. Inertia discuss the next one. The inertia is the property of a body. Inertia is the property of a body due to which the body opposes to change of itself. Okay, inertia is the property of a body to change. Okay, inertia is the property of a body due to which body opposes the change of the state. The change of the state, that is called inertia. Inertia is depends upon the mass of the object or mass of the particle. That is the simply say that inertia is the property of a body. Inertia is the property of a body due to which body oppose the change of itself state. Okay, itself state, that is called inertia. The inertia of a body is measured by mass of the particle or mass of the body. That is the inertia is directly proportional to mass. Inertia is directly proportional to mass. And heavier the body, greater is the force required to change its state. Okay, heavier the body. Okay, the greater force, the heaviest force is acting, then the inertia also heavier. Okay, mass of the body, for example, the inertia of the body is high, the mass of the body also high. So in case the inertia of a body is a lighter body, that mass also lighter. Okay, the inertia is proportional to mass. The inertia is depends upon the mass of the particle, or inertia of a body is measured by the mass of the particle. That is, inertia is directly proportional to mass. Okay, so the three types of inertia. The first one, inertia of rest. Three types. First one, inertia of rest. The second one, inertia of motion. Third one, inertia of direction. Okay, three categorized by inertia. The first one is the inertia of rest, the second one is the inertia of motion, third one is inertia of direction. Okay, so one by one just briefly discuss about in this inertia of rest. The inertia of rest is the inability of a body to change by itself. Its state of rest, that is the inertia of rest. So for example, when a bus or a train starts suddenly, the passenger sitting inside tends to fall backward. That is the inertia of rest. Okay, inertia of motion. For example, when a bus or train stops suddenly, a passenger sitting inside tends to fall forward. Okay, inertia of rest means the passengers is fall backward, and next inertia of motion is the passengers is the fall in forward direction, that is the inertia of motion. The last one, the inertia of direction. In this one, when a bus or car rounds a curve, okay, in this is the car, so rounds a curve, suddenly the person sitting inside is thrown outward. Okay, that is the direction, the inertia of direction. Okay, inertia can be classified into three types, students. The first one, inertia of rest, and inertia of motion, and inertia of direction. Okay, this is briefly discuss about the Newton's laws of motion or law of inertia. Okay, it's very important for CBSE and NCERT students and +1 also students. Okay, this is a very important topic, and foundation Olympiad and NEET also students. This is a very important topic. The next discuss about so linear momentum. So before discuss about Newton's second law, the one concept is there, that is the Newton's linear momentum. So linear momentum, it is the vector representation P bar. Okay, the linear momentum is a vector quantity. Okay, it is defined as the product of mass into velocity. Mathematically, the vector representation P bar is equal to m into v bar. Okay, in this one, v is inversely proportional to 1 by m. Then the momentum P is equal to m1 v1 is equal to m2 v2. Then v1 by v2 is equal to m2 by m1. This is the condition. The v is the velocity of a body or velocity of a particle is inversely proportional to mass of the object or mass of a body. This is the v is inversely proportional to m. The v1 by v2 is equal to m2 by m1. In this one, this graph is a representation, is very important graph. Some mass acting x-axis, the linear movement, that is the velocity, is acting y-axis. The curve is, in this curve, the P is equal to constant. The total quantity of motion possessed by a moving body. To measure the quantitative effect of force, in this one, to measure the effective force, the quantity of a force. In this the Newton's law, second law, is discuss about to measure the quantity of a force. Discuss about Newton's second law. The SI unit, students, SI unit is kg meter per second. The CGS unit is the gram centimeter per second. The dimensional formula of linear momentum m1 l1 t power minus 1, m1 l1 t power minus 1. This is the vector quantity. Okay, in this one, in this condition, the p is equal to constant. The p is inversely proportional to m. P is directly proportional to v. P is directly proportional to v. This is the p. And in this one, v. In this one, okay, this is the v. X-axis is the v and y-axis is the p. Y-axis is the p and x-axis is the velocity. Okay, in this one, p is directly proportional to v. Linear momentum is directly proportional to velocity. Then m is equal to p by v. P by v. That is the another graph, another representation. The third one is representation. Third one, this is the p and this one m. The straight line. This is because p is directly proportional to m. Directly proportional to m. Then v is equal to p by m. V is equal to p by m. Okay, this is the concept of the linear momentum. Concept about linear momentum. Okay, basically in this Newton's second law, some measures finally to measure the quantity of a force. The quantity of a force is discussed by Newton's second law. Discussed by Newton's second law. The next to discuss about Newton's second law. Newton's second law. The Newton's second law is discuss about the force concept. The force concept discussed in this Newton's second law. So to measure the quantity of a force, to measure the quantity of a force is discussed about the Newton's second law. Okay, the acceleration of a body is inversely proportional to of its mass. Acceleration of a body is inversely proportional of its mass and directly proportional to the resultant external force acting on it, and is directly proportional to the net force or resultant force acting on it. That is the sigma f. Sigma f is equal to the sigma f is the summation of the forces, that is written as net force F net. F net is equal to mass into acceleration ma. Then A is equal to acceleration is equal to F net by m. That is the resultant force or the net force acting on a body by mass of the body. That is the Newton's second law. The Newton's second law means the acceleration of a body is inversely proportional to the mass of the particle and it's directly proportional to resultant forces or net force acting on it. That is the Newton's second law. So one more thing is the Newton's second law is so definition is oriented the rate of change of momentum. Rate of change of momentum of a body is directly proportional to external force. The rate of change of momentum of a body, rate of change of momentum of a body is directly proportional to external force applied on it, and the change in momentum takes place in the direction of force. The change in momentum acts on the direction of force. This is the Newton's second law. Newton's second law means the rate of change of momentum, rate of change of momentum of a body is directly proportional to the external force acting on it. Okay, the change in momentum of a body and external force acts on the body. Okay, this is the Newton's second law. In this one, F bar is equal to d by dt of so linear momentum formula m into v bar. M into v bar, that is the net force or resultant force. F net is equal to m is the constant, dv by dt, that is equal to m into a. F net is equal to the net force acting on a body is equal to the product of mass into acceleration. That is the Newton's second law. F net is equal to ma. F net is equal to ma. This is the Newton's second law. Okay, force produces acceleration. The force is the proportional to, or force is produces to acceleration. This law gives magnitude, unit and dimension of force. This law gives the magnitude, unit and dimension of force. Then SI unit is the mass is the kg, so meter per second square. Acceleration is the SI unit, meter per second square. The force is that is the Newton. The next CGS unit is the gram centimeter per second square or dyne. Gram centimeter per second square or dyne. 1 Newton is equal to 10 power 5 dyne. 1 dyne is equal to 10 power minus 5 Newton. 1 Newton is equal to 10 power 5 dyne and 1 dyne is equal to 10 power minus 5 Newton. Okay, this is the Newton's second law. Newton's second law. In this one, the gravitational or practical unit, the SI unit is the gravitational or practical unit. kg weight or kgf, kg weight or kgf. The CGS unit is gram weight or the force. This is the force, gram force, that one is the kg force. This is the gravitational or practical unit of Newton's second law. Practical unit of Newton's second law. Okay, in this one, the spring balance always measure reaction force between body and balance in kg weight or kg force. Kg weight or kg force. The spring balance always measure spring balance always measure reaction, always measure reaction force between body and balance in kg weight or gram weight. The spring balance always measure reaction force between body and balance in kg weight or gram weight. But physical balance always gives mass of the body. Physical balance always gives mass of body in kg or gram. Okay, the spring balance always measured, that is the spring balance is weight of the body measure. That is the kg weight or gram weight. And next, physical balance is a measure always gives mass of the body in kg or gram. Okay, this is the spring balance and physical balance. Spring balance and physical balance. So according to Newton's second law, F ext is equal to dp by dt, that is equal to d of mv by dt, d by dt of m into v. The case 1, the two cases is there. The case 1 is the m is equal to constant. M is the constant and velocity is the variable. M is equal to constant, then velocity is a variable. Then the external force is equal to m into dv by dt. This is the first case. And the second case is, in this first case m is equal to constant, then velocity also variable. The external force is equal to m is constant, dv by dt. The next condition, the v is equal to constant. V is the constant and m is equal to variable. Then external force is equal to v into dm by dt. Okay. So one more case is there, that is the third case. Case 3. M and V both are variable. M and V bar are variable. In this the external force ext is equal to external force or resultant force is equal to m into dv by dt plus then v bar into dm by dt. dm by dt. This is the case 3. Okay, the 3 cases are there. The first case is the mass is constant. The mass is constant, then velocity is a variable. Okay, then these two values substituted in this above formula, that is the Newton's second law formula. External force is equal to mass is the constant. Mass is constant, then dv by dt is a variable. The variable means the non-uniform. Variable means non-uniform. Sometimes it is constant, that is the equal, and sometimes is the unequal, that is a variable. In this case 2, velocity, the velocity is constant, then m is a variable. M is a variable, then external force or resultant force is equal to v into dm by dt. V into dm by dt. And case 3, both mass and velocity are variable. The mass and velocity are variable. Okay, in this mathematical one expression, one formula, d by dt of uv formula, the same that F external force is equal to m into dv by dt plus v into dm by dt. Okay, this is the Newton's second law. The Newton's second law. Discuss about the Newton's second law applications. The Newton's second law applications, NLM. The first application is the impulse. Impulse. The impulse means when a large force acts on a large force act on extremely short duration, or the product of force with time, or the change in linear momentum also. The change in linear momentum. The change in linear momentum. The change in linear momentum, that is the impulse. Okay, so when a large force is act on a ball, is act on a body in a very short interval of time taken, the product of force with time, or the change in linear momentum, that is the impulse. The impulse, it is denoted J. The impulse is a vector quantity. J bar is equal to the force into time t, F bar into time t. Okay, the change in this one, in this graph, when a large force is act on a body in a short interval of time taken, that is the F, or this is the T, time taken, then J is equal to integration T1 to T2. Okay, this is the T1 and this is the T2. The integration limits are T1 to T2 F dt, the force into the change in time interval. Delta J bar is equal to integration T1 to T2 F bar into dt, that is equal to F bar dot delta T. The change in impulse delta J is equal to, in this one, force is nothing but dp by dt. into dt. Okay, these two cancel, remaining the impulse is nothing but change in linear momentum. Change in linear momentum. Delta J is equal to delta P. Okay, in the delta P it is written as delta J is equal to delta P, change in linear momentum. The change in linear momentum is the final linear momentum Pf minus Pi. Pf minus Pi, that is the change in linear momentum. The delta J is equal to in this one mv minus mu, that is equal to m into v minus u. M into m is constant. The final momentum is the mass of the product of mass into final velocity minus initial momentum. Initial linear momentum means the product of mass into initial velocity u. Okay, mu. Then mass is the common v minus u. Okay, in this one impulse momentum theorem. Okay, this is nothing but impulse momentum theorem. Okay, this is the impulse topic. The next one discuss about Newton's second law. One more application, that is the change in momentum. So two cases is there, change in momentum. This is the first case. The first application is the impulse application. The second is the change in momentum. Second application, change in momentum. Change in momentum, that is the delta P. Delta P is the change in momentum. The two cases is there. First case one, this is the wall. So when a ball to strike out the wall, when a ball is thrown towards the wall, then strike out the wall, then back to the same medium. The ball is thrown, the ball of mass m. The first velocity is the initial velocity. In this mass into initial velocity, that is the initial linear momentum Pi. Strike out back to the same medium, the same mass m. The final velocity is the v, and the final linear momentum is Pf. In this horizontal way, theta is equal to 0 degree. So before collision, Pi is equal to mu, mass into initial velocity. The initial linear momentum Pi is equal to mass into velocity. Next, after collision, the initial velocity to change final velocity, Pf is equal to mass into velocity mv. Therefore change in momentum is equal to final momentum minus initial momentum. Okay, final is the okay, in this one the change, that is the negative way. So minus mu that is equal to minus 2mu, minus 2mu. This is the first condition, the first case. The final minus initial momentum minus mu that is equal to minus 2mu. So with an angle theta. Okay. So horizontal direction, strike out the ball. So making an angle theta. Okay, first one is in this one, so resolve into two components, mv cos theta, and this one is the mv sin theta. So back to the same medium, mv cos theta, mv sin theta. The horizontal direction, so taking x-axis, delta px is equal to pf minus pi. Okay, in this way, final minus mv cos theta. So strike out. So after strike out, the back to the same medium. Okay, that is the minus is taking. The minus, the change in velocity, m minus mv cos theta minus mv cos theta, that is equal to minus 2mv cos theta. Okay, this is the change in momentum. I hope you like this video. Please subscribe to my channel for more videos. Thank you. So tomorrow next session discuss about Newton's third law and its applications. Okay, and so many problems for IIT JEE mains level and NEET level discuss. Okay, thank you.